patience already starting to wear thin with Manchester United fans over Ruben Amorim? Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. Today's video is going to centre around Manchester United and their new head coach Ruben Amorim in the aftermath of yesterday's defeat at the hands of Fulham. The current FA Cup holders are Manchester United, but they will not be successfully defending their crown this year after the defeat to Fulham yesterday on penalties in England's top domestic cup competition. And it's left a lot of United fans again fuming at yet another defeat and another opportunity at silverware turned into dust. We're going to be talking about Amorim, we're going to be talking about Manchester United and everything else in between. But before we go any further discussing all of that and much more, I would like to remind you to please like the video and also subscribe if you are new. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. Get involved in the comment section as well. Let me know your thoughts, your comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it. That I'm sure will make for great and interesting reading down below in that comment section. So please do use and abuse that comment section, people, and talk to me on this. Join the conversation, because I'm sure what you have to say will make for great and interesting reading down below. And without further ado, we'll get on to the conversation ourselves. We'll get on to the video. We're going to be talking Man United, Amorim, and everything else in between. Look, yesterday was not a great day for Manchester United. It was another defeat. It was another opportunity at silverware that goes a-begging. It was a defeat in a lottery known as the penalty shootout. It wasn't a great game of football, in all honesty, but in the end, it was Bernd Leno, the Fulham goalkeeper, that proved to be the hero, saving Fulham and also spearheading them into the next round of the competition. The current holders, Manchester United, are out, and it has left a lot of United fans fuming. A lot of United fans are still fuming, and I did a video not too long ago on Amorim and Manchester United, and I basically questioned, what were United fans exactly hoping for? Because there was a lot of call for this manager to be sacked again. There's a lot of call for this manager to be removed from his position. He's in way over his head, that kind of stuff. And I just want to know what these United fans were expecting. Did he think he was some sort of magical wizard that was going to just basically, in the space of a few weeks, a few months, one transfer window, cast a few spells, make these players better than what they actually are, and suddenly get them to winning games constantly? I don't know what you're anticipating, because that was never going to happen. He's come in, he's said that he's got a system that he wants to play, he's got an ideology and a philosophy that he wants to play, and he won't be changing that drastically for anyone or anything. And he stuck to his guns on that. And what has happened is United haven't exactly played very well. They've not exactly got the results, but you can see what he is trying to implement on this squad. The problem is the squad isn't good enough. The squad isn't up to the standard and the level that he wants, needs, and desires. Alternatively, if he was to change, if he was to adapt, and he was to go with what the vast majority of United fans wanted, he'd change, he'd modify, he would adapt to the players that he has currently at his disposal. Those players would start to actually perform very well. And then several months down the line, when teams start to find you out, they'll go crap again. Because teams will find them out, and it's not exactly the style that Amorim likes to play. Amorim wants to play. And he'll be left there going, I didn't want to do this, but the players made me, the club has made me. I've not been given what I need. I've not been backed properly. I've had to adapt, not them. And you'll be back to square one again. Because guess what? That happened with Ten Hag. That happened with Solskjaer. That happened with every manager that you've had post Sir Alex Ferguson. What you have been crying out for a very, very long time is a manager and a head coach that has his way of playing, has a clear style of play, has their own identity. You've been crying out for that for so long that the moment it is presented to you in front of you, you reject it because it's not what you need for a quick fix. Newsflash, United fans. This is never going to be a quick fix. You're not going to undo over 10 years of neglect on a football club, whether it's the interior or whether it's the squad or whether it's the coaches or whether it's everybody else that works behind the scenes. You're not going to outdo and completely change, modify and improve the standard of a football club that has been left to rot to the very core for over 10 years. That was never going to happen. Even if you brought in a Pep Guardiola, a Jurgen Klopp, Carlo Ancelotti, some of the greats of this game, it was never going to happen. Never going to happen. So by all means, from a Liverpool fan's perspective, from the outside looking in, please go ahead and hound this guy out. Force this guy to leave. Because every single time you try and restart the wheel again, you're going a step backwards. Or you're staying in the same position and everybody is moving ahead of you. Either way, you're falling behind. So by all means, please hound this guy out. Please get rid of this guy. Because then you bring in a new manager who will have a different approach, a different style of play, and he'll have to make do with this Frankenstein of a squad which has been put together by the past 3 or 4 managers. And then you'll have to start again, and you'll go further and further behind because your impatience is there for everybody to see. You're not seeing the bigger picture, you're not going through the process, you're not willing to wait and wait for the glory days to potentially come back to Old Trafford and Manchester United because you're too busy focused on the here and the now rather than see long term. Because you could go through that process. You have been through that process. You've been through the process of a manager coming in and you enjoying short-term success, whatever that may be, but it's not sustainable. It's nothing long-term. And it definitely ain't short-term success as in the major honours, Champions League, Premier League. It's nothing like that. It's a League Cup, an FA Cup, maybe even potentially a Europa League. Have a bit of trust and have a bit of faith in Ruben Amorim. Have a bit of trust and have a bit of faith in Ineos to maybe start to get things right and maybe try and recover from, like I say, over 10 years of the Glazers leaving your pitiful, sorry club to rot. I'm saying that as a Liverpool fan. And once again, I hope you do hound this guy out. I hope you do get him out. Because every time that you do that, it means it is another year or two to add on to ever maybe even considering United getting back to the pinnacle of European and world football. That's the way that I see it. Yesterday, it wasn't great. It wasn't amazing. But for me, you're writing this season off. You've got to put all your eggs in the Europa League basket. To hell with the league. You're not going to go down. You're not worse. You at worst, you'll be the 4th worst team in the league. Like, if the worst case scenario happens, you'll be the 4th worst team in the league. But you can still salvage your season by winning the Europa League, by getting into the Champions League for next season, and by building that way. It would be an incredible achievement by Amorim to say that this squad is clearly not good enough, to say that this squad is clearly not good. Now, whether you'll do that or not is a different story. Anything can happen in cup football, knockout football. We all know that stranger things have happened. I don't think you will necessarily, but at the same time, it isn't completely out the realms of possibility for it to be impossible. And if he was to achieve that, a fantastic achievement all round by both United and your new head coach. And it could be the kick up the backside that you need. It could be the ignition point where maybe many people start to see, maybe this could turn around. Maybe this could be better. Maybe this could be where things started. But they ain't going to do that if you don't have a little trust and a little patience. The system that he's playing may not be suited to what you may like, but it's what Amorim wants. And if Amorim gets a tune out of the players he's currently got, that is, in my opinion, the signal of a fantastic coach. And then you can then start to imagine what it will be like in that system when he starts to get the players that he does want. Because if he starts to get the players that he does want and that fit the system, he is going to build a team that is going to be functioning to some level of degree. It may not be Premier League titles or Champions League titles, but at least he can lay the foundations for maybe future managers after him. Remember, it's not about a manager's philosophy down to the core principle of it. A club now has long-term visions that will bleed into the club's DNA for years to come, even years after the head coach has left. Look at the way that Liverpool have done it with Jurgen Klopp. Fantastic the way that he came in and he changed everything. The club DNA changed with Jurgen Klopp again. It modified. And then they bring in Arne Slot, who is not too different from Jurgen Klopp, but he's not the complete same either. He has got enough change about him that you can see the differences that he's made, but alternatively, the core principles are still ingrained within that club, which is why which is a part of the reason why Slot has been successful. Yes, Slot has had to do it himself, of course, but it's part of the reason why so far this season Liverpool's transition from Klopp to Slot has been moderately successful. And if they are to go on and cross that finish line and become Premier League champions, that will prove to be instant and incredible success that could be built upon, because there is still so much potential there for Slot to change and for Slot to modify and for Slot to further improve upon. If United fans are patient, it could work the same for your club. And maybe Amorim is going to be the guy to lay the foundations for that. He could either be the guy to lay the foundations and then build the house on top, or he could be the guy just to lay the foundations. And then in a few years' time, you go out there and you see a manager that is going to be an upgrade on Amorim. And you go, thank you for everything you've done, but this guy is now going to come in. He's going to sprinkle a little bit of stardust on top, and he's going to absolutely thrive off of what you built. Your contributions will not go unnoticed or unmentioned, but this is the guy that we're going with in order to bring success. That could potentially happen as well. But you're never going to maybe even get to that potential level if you constantly are impatient and you are constantly hounding out head coaches before they've even really had a chance to begin. This guy's had one transfer window in which he's had to get rid of some deadwood players, some players that he doesn't want, and he's only managed to bring in one addition to this squad. What on God's earth were you expecting to happen in such a short space of time with a squad that has been put together by 3 or 4 different managers with different ideologies and philosophies that are clearly not up to the level, the standard, or even the right fit for a Ruben Amorim system? United fans, give your heads a wobble, but at the same time, if you want to hound this guy out, by all means, I speak on behalf of every single rival fan of Manchester United when I say, get the guy out, because the more that you do that, the more your impatience shows, the more managers you bring in for a short stint of time and then get rid of, the less and less and less of a threat that you will become for the present, and the more time it will take for you to maybe become a threat for the long-term future. Look, these are just the thoughts, comments, opinions, predictions, feelings, whatever you want to call it, of this guy. I want to know what you guys think. What do you make of Ruben Amorim and Manchester United? Is time already wearing out for the Portuguese manager, or do you think that they will stick by him? Let me know what you guys are thinking and feeling about this interesting topic of discussion down below in the comment section. Hit the like button on the way up if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you are new or want to see more content like this. Both things will always and forever be greatly appreciated. And as always, thank you all so much for watching and listening. And thank you all for your brand new or continued support to the channel. Whichever one it is greatly appreciated by me. Will never be taken for granted. Your support is absolutely awesome. And I cannot thank you all enough for that. So thank you so much. I've been Fletch, this has been another Fletch Talks video, and I'll see and speak with you all again soon in another video or live stream or whatever it may be. Cheers guys, thanks everyone for watching, take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you again very soon.